Great for you to join. So this is your advanced trip and accounting reports webinar. The idea is this is for everyone, not only for admins, but for admins and regular users. And the length for this webinar is going to be a little bit shorter, about 30 minutes. Basically, in this webinar, cover are going to be how to manage and access all historic bookings, how to generate trip groups and assign clients to groups, how to split the cost of the entire trip or of individual services between clients or groups, how to manage multiple currencies at the service level, of course, how to generate invoices and quotes, how to add more services to an existing invoice, how to add payments to invoices and track invoice status, how to customize and add terms and conditions to your invoices, basically tracking payments and review all transactional data, and how to export those reports, and finally, how to filter sales and commission data. Basically, after this webinar is completed, you should have a very wholesome understanding of the trip creation process and trip accounting follow-up, including advanced features. And also, you should have a clear understanding of how to generate and read any transactional and performance reports using our transactions and reports module. What is not covered in this particular webinar is the specific training for admin users and anything related to UMAT. That being said, let's go to our platform. If you have any questions, you're going to be muted through the entire webinar, but if you have any questions, please just let me know through the chat box or the Q&A, and then at the end, we'll address them and let you know. So here we are in the trips module. I'm going to go right here first to the general trips module so we can take a look at it. And we already went over this last week in the introduction to trips and reports. But today I just wanted to take an actual look a little bit deeper into the more complex features that we have in Travel Contact. So let's say that we just a quick overview of how to create a trip. Once you want to create a trip, you click on the Create Trip button. This new window appears, and then you will need to enter the 3 required fields that we have in Travel Contact. So that's going to be a first name, a trip name, a main contact, and finally who is going to be the trip owner. So the trip owner, basically, if you're an admin user, you can add or create trips for somebody else. If not, you can only create them for yourselves. The trip name can be anything that you guys want or need. However, it helps you identify or find the trips later on. And finally, the main contact is going to be that main client that is going to be added to the trip. And then once you have that main contact added right here, so let me show you if I were to type a name, for example, select them from the drop-down menu, and now I can add network associate right from the start. And I can just, select and unselect everyone that I want to add to my trip, or I can just choose not to add any network associates and then add them further on in the trip as I start building and once I'm actually in the trip module. So that being said, just let's go into a specific trip right now. Any trip will work for what we actually want to review today. So let's choose Paris 2022. Okay, so what we have right here is a trip that's already built. As you can see, we have different clients already right here. We have 2 clients. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 new clients to this. So I'm going to say, Connie Moreau, and then I'm going to add Key. Great, so I'm going to add these 2 clients to my trip. As you can see, now I have 4 clients, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on this Groups tab. The Group tab is going to let you assign your clients to different paying groups, so you can split the cost of the trip later on. So the first one I'm going to do is the Conways, for example. I'm going to give it a name. I can give a description if I wanted to, and then I'm going to choose who are the people that are actually going on this group, and I'm going to select the main client for the group. I'm going to click it and save. And now I'm going to click on new group again. You'll see that the ones that are already assigned to a group are no longer available. So now I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, they're Jermaine's. And then no description, basically I'm going to select Connie as main client, both of them, and then Connie as a main client. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on save. So now I have both of my groups created. You'll see here that I can edit the group, delete the group. If I click on the arrow, it's going to show me who is in this group. And then that is all that I'm going to do on this section right here. And that is how we create groups in Java Contact. So now we're going to go ahead into our service section, and I'm going to show you how to basically split the cost of a service between different clients, different groups, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go, since I'm going to split the cost and probably add different currencies, I'm going to do it through the advanced instead of the quick add. So I'm going to add a flight right here so we can do this. So I select flight, new window comes up from the right. I'm going to select one way. I'm going to select the airline, in this case, let's say American. Then departing city, in this case, I'm going to do Miami to Paris. So let's choose Charles de Gaulle. And then the departing date is going to be anything, let's say the 25th of this month, and the arrival date in Paris is going to be the 26th. I'm going to click on next. I have all my clients added already. I'm going to go ahead and click on next. And now once it loads, it's going to allow me to start entering cost information. So as you see, service has been saved. Sorry about that connection. There we go. So the general info as well, and as usual, you'll start with a question, the most basic question of cost, which is who the payment is going to. In this case, I'm going to say the payment is going to the agency, so I'm going to receive the money. Do you want to split the cost between groups? I'm going to say yes. And now you'll see that a new window will pop up. And now I have all my groups available. So I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to add the cost right away to this group. So I'm going to click on save and add costs. Are you going to distribute the cost evenly between groups? You can choose yes or no. If you choose yes, it's going to split it right away down the middle evenly between your two groups or as many groups as you have. So in this case, I'm going to select the pay type is going to be gross. Is there a commission to receive? Yes. I'm going to do it by percentage. I'm going to say after I enter the cost. So let's say the total cost for all four of them, it's going to be 4,000. And the percentage is going to be 4%. And then commission discount, tax included, additional markup, everything that usually gets added into cost, and all the same questions you're going to have right here. And you'll see that the moment I add the amount right here and I add the commission, everything is going to be divided evenly between the two groups that I have. So once I enter that information, I'm going to go ahead and click on confirm and save. And then all that cost information is saved right here. You'll see that we have the group cost, supply commission, everything set up right here. And then I can go ahead and click on save and close. Now I'm going to add another service just to show you how to do multiple currencies. So since I'm doing multiple currencies, I'm going to go ahead and do this as well through the advanced feature instead of a quick add. I'm going to add a restaurant in this case. I'm going to say, sorry, it's Vivo by Danny Garcia. The date for this, it's going to be the 29th. Click on next. All my clients right here, click on next. And now you'll see that once we get to the cost section, the third question that you're going to have is the currency. So the first one is who is the payment going to? So in this case, I'm going to say the supplier because I really don't need to create an invoice for this. Do you want to split the cost? I'm going to say no, but I'm going to change the currency right now. So let's say that I'm adding euros for this. So right here, choose from the list. Your costs associated with the service may vary according to the exchange rate. That's great. And then you'll see here that I have my currency rate details. So one of the things is I can actually click on show history and see all the exchanges that I've seen for the euro. Since I created this today, it hasn't varied at all. So I can choose the one we take from the internet directly, or I can go ahead and enter a custom rate and say, for example, it's going to be 0.9. Once I enter that, that is all set. So I have my custom rate. This is a suggested rate, but I can add the custom rate that I wanted to. And then I simply go about entering the rest of the information for the cost as I usually do. So you'll see here that, for example, this is going to be in euros. So let's say it's going to be 1,000 euros. Is there a commission to receive from the supplier? Let's say yes. Percentage, and this is going to be in euros as well. So let's say it's going to be, I don't know, 5%. So we have it right there, commission, discount, etc. I can fill out everything. It's going to be shown right here in euros. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Changes. So you'll see here that already automatically it's going to show it up in dollars. So remember that we entered 1,000 euros. So then automatically on the accounting and everything, it's going to change that to dollars or US dollars using the exchange rate that you entered, and then it's going to be set in that price. So accounting will be managed in dollars and everything will be managed in dollars, but you can enter the information for the service properly in euros, since it's going to be the booking information that you'll be getting. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to confirm an invoice now, or I can confirm an invoice later. For the purpose of this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and click on confirm an invoice now, so we can take a look at that that process. So since I already created, I split this into two groups. I can choose one group invoice, one individual invoice for each group, or custom invoicing. I'm going to go ahead and do individual invoice for each group and click on next. You'll see here that I have two different invoices, one for each group, one for the Conways, one for the Germains, the main client for each one of them, dates, discounts, etc. You can add them all here. When I click create, you'll see that once the system loads, that service is going to be already confirmed. And then I'm going to have two client groups that I can expand and take a look at anytime. And then if I go to actions, I can view client group info, or I can view the invoice for that specific group. And then let's go ahead and actually confirm this one. Since this one it doesn't have an invoice, I can only confirm it. And then on the quote, I'm going to be able to see, if I created one, everything related to this service. So I'm going to go ahead and click on actions. I'm going to create a quote. So same thing applies. You'll see here, I can add a description. So let's say that this is birthday dinner. Oh, or let's do birthday lunch. And then I can add a discount, a sales tax, anything that I wanted to. I can hide the supplier. For example, if it's a surprise and somebody would say restaurant and birthday lunch, but they won't know what restaurant they're going on the quote. So that's great if you're having, for example, somebody who's traveling and surprising one of the members of the group, then you can do that and hide those suppliers. This is how you would build the invoices, how you can separate those invoices per group, how you can do quotes and use multiple currencies. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a service real quick. I'm going to do this through the quick out without a problem, because I just want to show you a custom invoice right away. For this, let's say a restaurant, let's say the date is going to be on the 29th, and for clients, enter cost. Payment go to the agency, total cost, it's going to be 5,000, gross commission 3%. There we go. So I'm going to add that service real quick. Now I'm going to click on actions. I'm going to say confirm an invoice now. And then I'm going to go ahead and select custom invoicing. So I'm going to click on next. How many invoices do you want to create? In this case, one. And now I can enter all the invoice details right here if I wanted to. So the payment is going to let's say that I want to bill a portion right now and then a portion later on, then I can do right here, portion to invoice, let's say 100, and then to bill later on, it's going to be the rest of everything. So it's going to be, I can play with this. I can add as many information. I can add another invoices and add it to this process. And then finally, when I'm done, I can go ahead and click on confirm an invoice. And then everything will be invoiced accordingly to that custom invoice process that I made. Now, as we go to the accounting section, you'll see here that I have my invoices, which I created, which I have, all the invoices from this trip that have been created. If I click on quotes right here on the tab, I'm going to see all the different quotes that I have for this. And then I can start reporting payments either to invoices or quotes. All I need to do in that sense is, for example, right here on the invoice section, let's say that I wanted to, right here. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and click on actions, enter a payment. Information comes up. I'm going to click ahead and go ahead and click right here on add payment. So the payment, let's say, was submitted on last Friday. The amount was 1,000. The payment method was cash, and then the payment type is a deposit, since we still have more money to receive from the advisors. So from the client, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add, and now the payment has been reported. It has been added, and now you can see that the invoice changed to partial. Just a sec while it loads. So if I come right here to this 4,000, you'll see that there's partial, total amount, how much is due, and you can enter payments and view them at any point. I can enter payments the way that we just showed you. So by clicking actions and then entering payments, or I can click on view invoice. And then as I go right here, you'll see the invoice, the complete invoice right here. And then at the bottom, I can go ahead and add a payment. Adding a payment will follow the same process. So all I need to do is click on add payment. Say payment came in yesterday, the amount was 500. The method was a check, and it was still a deposit. So now I can add that, and everything is going to be updated accordingly. And then on the invoice page underneath, you'll be able to check all payments as well. So you'll see right here that I have my 2 payments being tracked, and then I have total amount paid, balance due, everything right here on the invoice. And the same thing is going to work for quotes. So right here we have the quotes. Sorry. So right here you have quotes. And then I can always come to view quote, edit quote, download, and then I can keep track of everything within the quote. But then I'm going to track those payments through the supplier payment. So direct to supplier, I can have it right here. You'll see that I have the restaurant that we created. If I click on action, I can payment, manage payment, or simply mark as paid. So let's say that your client just calls you up and say, okay, I already paid this, or you use your credit card to pay for it. Then you can go ahead and mark this as paid without entering any details, and then it would be set as paid, and you didn't have to enter any details for this. And then I can go ahead and enter any payment if I wanted to with details as well. Same process will apply. So I'm going to say on, Monday, I received $1,000 with a credit card. It's a deposit, and then I click on add, and then that payment is going to be reported. And now partial payment, you'll have it right here, and then you can manage payments at any point and simply view all payments that have been made to that specific supplier. So you'll have here all the information, and then you can add any more, payment reminders, payment due dates. You can change it. You can enter any, drag and drop any file that you have right here. You can keep track of it, and then you can enter invoice numbers, date of issue, and the copy of the invoice. You can manage everything from right here. And finally, commissions is where you'll be able to keep track of all commissions for the trip and for the services that you've created in this trip. You'll be able to review them right here. Admin users will be able to enter commission information and mark them as paid as well. And then you can, as an advisor, review this at any point, keep track of it and follow it. Before, I just wanted to show you on the invoices as well, how to add the terms and conditions. So aside from adding payments and reviewing them and all the ways I showed you that you can invoice right now, you can actually add any terms and information to your invoice. So all you need to do is click on view invoice. You'll come to the invoice page. It's going to show up right here. You'll have your invoice. Remember that you can always change the color, change the font, download this PDF with payment details or without payment details. And then right here, you can always select from the agency preset. For example, if I had any terms, I can just enter them right here and they're going to be sent to your client. And then I can always add the extended terms right here. I can choose from the ones that I have available, and they're going to be added as an attachment to your invoice as well. And once I download this as a PDF, regardless of with payment details or without payment details, it's going to show up and it's going to bring forth all those terms and conditions that you've applied. So we've already shown you how to track those payments, how to customize and add terms and conditions to the invoice. Now we're going to go ahead and enter the transactions and reports module. So as you know, the transactions module is something that's going to be automatically. Every time I add a service, it's going to show up right away on the transactions module. So for example, the two services that I've added today, so for example, you'll see them right here. So Paris 2022, flight, everything that we have right here is services sold. You're going to be able to review it. In this specific section, you'll be able to add, for example, a date range, add the filter or the date criteria that you're applying to that date range, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on export. And now I can bring that information into a CSV file, and I can continue to play with it, review it, add filters, or use it for any way that I can. But I can always have that information at hand, export it from the platform. You can see it right here, and it's going to be ready to use, so you guys can take a look at it and use it any way you want to. Of course, this is something that's not only related to this specific date. You can set this up for a year, for a month, for a week, for days. It all depends on what you want to see. In this transactions module, we have three types of reports. So we have the service report, which is the one that we just saw. We're going to have the commissions report, which the commission report is going to be divided in three as well. So you're going to have a not received, which you can, if you are an agent user, not an admin, you'll see only your commissions, of course. And not received means that the agency has not received the payment yet. Not paid means that the agency received the payment, but the agent hasn't received the payment yet. And then you can export this as well, and you can export the not received. And finally, paid to the agent are all those commissions that you've already received as an agent, and then you can go ahead and add a date range for that, and you can export that as well. And finally, we have the invoices report, which is going to show you all invoices that were created, everything that has been added on a specific date. You can filter this by status of the invoice, and then if you are linked with Flywire, you can check the Flywire status as well. Once you're done, you can export this and use it as well, however you need to or however you see fit. Everything in the transactions report is going to be that raw data that's going to show you all the different aspects of the invoice or the service or the commission, everything in this format, and then you can export to a CSV file. And then this transactions report is going to show up in the reports module. So what we did is the reports module basically translates that raw data into beautiful pie charts and graphs, and that you can take a look at and understand a little bit more. So, for example, you'll have here total amounts and see everything. You can change any pie charts or graphs that you want to see, or any criteria that you want to take a look at. You can vary it and add it to different reports. This can apply to different years, and you can also apply to creation date, start date, end date, and confirmation date. Usually, every time you enter a service or any information in travel contact, it's going to take 24 hours to show up on the reports module. Then we're going to have the suppliers module. Right here, we're going to give you reports based on how much business you're sending to suppliers specifically. So login, for example, if I wanted to take a look at all services that I've sold all lodging services that I've sold in this specific date range, applying to the creation date criteria. It's going to show up right here, give me my total, and show me exactly which chain I'm booking with, and then specifically what property and how much business I'm sending their way. And also, finally, agents is going to be for me kind of a performance report. It's going to show you exactly what you've done, exactly what you've sold on this date range. If you click on the agent, for example, this is going to show up, of course, if you're an agent for you only. You're going to be able to see gross amount expected commission in this date, of course, and then take a look at everything that you've sold right here and all the services you've sold, for example, all the commission received, commission paid out, agent fees, etc. And you can export this at any point as well to a CSV file. As you start using Travel Contact, you always know that we have a help center right here, and then you can click on it and enter any type of information that you might be looking for. So, for example, if I wanted to know something about commissions, I can enter commissions, click on enter, and then it's going to show me all the articles and different things that we have on commissions. So if I wanted to click on commission section, for example, it's going to show me a video, show me everything that we have available, frequently asked questions, everything right here. And if you actually want to go to the help center, which is a little bit more comfortable than reading right there on that little tab that we have, you can go to the help center and then everything will be available right here. Not only what you were looking for, but also you're going to have access to the Getting Started or Quick Start Guide, upcoming webinars, videos, updates, home clients, everything of the sort will be managed right here. If you still have a question using the platform or something that you want help with or something that's not working right, you can always contact us. Leave your name, your email address, let us know how we can help you, and you can add up to 5 attachments which are really, really useful for our support team when dealing with a bug or something that's not working right. And the other thing that we have is basically the Learning Academy, which are live guided flows that are going to take you by the hand and show you specifically how to do any features in our platform. So if you want to track your reports, for example, all I need to do is click on track reports, and it's going to show me exactly where I need to click in order to get that specific information that I'm looking for. And basically, that is what we have in this specific webinar. As you know, our learning path, this is the second to last webinar that we have on our learning path. Tomorrow, we're going to have Travel Contact and UMAP integration, and then next week, we get started again with Quick Start and Travel Contact for admins. The other resources are the ones that we just went through. The other ones that we just did, that are still there, of course, is to contact our Travel Contact guru or write to support@travelcontact.com.